Hello, and welcome to another stream of Pokemon Legends Arceus Live. My name is ElectriCrew here in another stream. We've done tons and tons of these. This is my longest running series on this channel, and we're back after a decent couple weeks since the last time we played. Looking once again for Shiny Burmy. Hopefully you're excited for this. If you are and you've not liked the stream and subscribe to the channel, consider doing so you can catch every single one of these as they come out. Regardless, though, thank you so much for joining me tonight, and let's get this thing going. I already went to the wrong place. Damn it. But yeah, we're going to be doing some hunting for some Burmy. Should be a good old time. And who knows, maybe we'll actually get the shiny, and then I can move on to a different area. Or maybe I'll do some hunting for Eevee if we get the shiny Burmy. One good thing that we could do if we get the shiny Burmy and then move on to like Eevee is because it's a lot of like just tedious menuing. We probably could do some plastic ducks while we wait for the Eevee outbreak to spawn. But first we got to get the Burmy, which is not guaranteed. And this one is very, like, active searching and stuff. It's not like... I can't be mindless about it, unfortunately, so... we have to, focus on this and this alone. So yeah, hopefully everyone's doing well. I actually went into the office today, which is very happy to say an anomaly compared to the norm. I've been working from home a lot these past few weeks because I now am having more meetings with like people 6 to 12 hours time difference away from me, and it does not make sense for me to be in the office, so I get to work from home a lot more, which has been nice. But today I went into the office just to, you know, show my face, say hello to some people, that kind of thing. And I forgot how much I hate traffic. So, welcome in. Consider changing your outfit. Your yellow hat isn't working with that gnarly sunburn. Oh, sunburn, I say. I was like, I'm pretty sure my character's pretty pale. Also, if that had been shiny and I just ran away from it a second time, that would have been hilarious. Because I was totally not paying attention to whether it was shiny or not, because I was too busy trying to figure out why my character had a sunburn. Or if I did. Really? Dun, dun. Dun, dun. And bam. Anything fun? Not looking like it. Dun, dun. But yeah, that was my day today, basically. I went to the office, hated traffic, got home, did some, like, administrative work on my computer, and then my wife and I think I mentioned, I had gotten her into Freerin, and she got quite obsessed, and so we were we watched through all of it, and we finished up to season 2, and she was very disappointed to hear that the show was newer and still releasing, and she would actually have to wait for a new season, because she like tries to watch shows that are complete rather than new shows, because she doesn't like, you know, having to stop at like a cliffhanger or something like that. Mudkip, welcome in. But yeah, so uh, basically, we finished that, and she was missing the show, so just so what happened was I was like, well, I mean, we could try watching a different anime. I mean, I watched like the first season of Horimiya, and I really liked that one. It's a lot, the characters are pretty fun, and it's a lot, it's very very lighthearted and stuff like that. And so she gave it a shot, but she said that there wasn't enough plot, which fair. It is very plot light. What about shows from 10 years ago that were really good but get canceled in the middle of a plot line? I mean, I think she'll watch that more. Or, I mean, she'll also watch new shows that are not, that haven't finished yet. Like, she's adamant about never reading an unfinished book series. Like, she legitimately will not read a book series if it is not complete at this point. But TV shows, like, she prefers to watch ones that are all complete all the way through, just because she can avoid the pain of running out of content before the story is done. But she will watch other shows that are currently, releasing, or are on a hiatus but are planning on having new seasons and stuff like that. But she was like, she really got into the show and was like absolutely hooked. So we were trying to watch a new show, and I threw on Horimiya, and I love the show. And she was like, the characters are okay, but like, it's just not enough plot for me. And so we stopped after like 1.5 episodes, and I was one of my buddies had recommended another show that is actually older. It's called Witch Hat Atelier, which I think might be a more famous like anime from like the mid 2000s. Ellie, welcome on in. Get her into One Piece. I haven't watched One Piece, but I do have to say that I'm trying to stay away from shonen because a lot of it has some not so let's say not so in-depth female characterization, to put it extremely diplomatically. We tried we watched a decent amount of Black Clover together, and I had never seen Black Clover at that point, and she watched it for a while, but I think that it kind of grated on her after a little while, and she was like, yeah, if you want to watch ahead, that's fine. And so I watched ahead, and then I caught up, and she just never tried watching it again. So I think that shonens are not, like, it has to be like one that doesn't really fall for as many of the common shonen tropes, and has like good characterization of characters and stuff like that, because it's it can definitely, it's definitely an acquired taste, I will say. And I can only imagine it's more of an acquired taste for someone whose entire gender is not exactly well represented in these types of shows. Still need to watch season 2 of Free and I was waiting for the dub to release, then completely forgot about it. Yeah, I waited. I was actually planning on watching it, and I just hadn't gotten around to it. But then when my wife was like asking, was like complaining that she couldn't find a show to watch, and I was like, "You want to try Free? And she was like, "All right." And then she got really hooked. So second season is dope. Very very fun. It's just a shame that it is only 10 episodes. That is the only problem I have with it, is that it wasn't also 28 episodes like the first season, because when I got into the show, only the first season was out, and I was like, oh, only one season, I'm gonna like watch it and then be done in like two seconds, because it's gonna be like, it's gonna be 12 episodes and I'm gonna be done real fast. And then when I found out that it was 28 episodes, I was like, this is the height of luxury. And then it took me like 3 seconds to watch it all, because I absolutely blew through, because I also love Frieren. But yeah, so she loves it. Second season's very very good. I don't think the quality dropped at all. I think that it's really really fun. Complete anime worth watching. Puella Magi Madoka Magica. I've heard of that one. Takes a magical girl anime genre and tears it to shreds. A bit dark overall. Interesting. I don't know anything about it, but I have heard of the name at least. but yeah, we started watching Witch Hat Atelier tonight, and one of my buddies had recommended it to me and said that I might like it, like because we would play the Animatal together, um, and he was like, oh, that's a character from Witch Hat Atelier, and I was like, I have no idea what that is, but okay, because he's very very knowledgeable about anime, and I am mediocre at best. Um, so he was like, "Oh yeah, actually, I think you probably would like that one. It's got some like fun like magic-y stuff and all that." And so I knew that it was like not a shonen, and I knew that it was like I was pretty sure it had like a female lead and stuff like that, and that seemed like I didn't remember like anything about the synopsis of what my buddy had told me, but I was like, you know what, screw it. I've been meaning to watch this anyway. Let me just recommend it. Let me just say that this was recommended because she knows the person who the friend who recommended it, and she's good friends with him as well. So, I was like, this guy recommended it, so you want to try it? And I can't vouch for it. I don't know anything about the plot, but uh, it's got magic and stuff, and she's like, it looks like it's basically Harry Potter, so sure. And she she kept mentioning throughout the couple episodes we watched that it was just Harry Potter, and I was like, honey, it, Harry Potter doesn't have a monopoly on magical castles. So it's like, so I was like, it's got magic in it. That's about where the similarities end, and the character is a little bit like dense at times. But we watched through it, and like at like first quarter to third of the episode, I'm just sitting there like it's a little slow. I can't figure out what the plot is. I don't know what the synopsis was, and I'm just sitting there like, what the heck is the premise of this show? Like, what am I getting? What am I what's the hook? And then and then I'll spoil. If you don't want it spoiled, I will like clap my hands when I'm done spoiling like the first episode, because I definitely want to talk about this. Like, we're watching through it, and basic premise is this girl like is enamored by magic, wants to do magic, but doesn't know how, and apparently in this world, you're either born with it or you're not. So she's like, she like really wants to do magic, and doesn't. But it was told by her mom that like she wouldn't be able to and stuff like that. But she's like still enamored by it and wants to really badly. And one day she like works at like a clothing shop or something like that, and with her mom, and this group of people come in with like a flying chariot or something like that, and some kids in town like break the chariot. And they're like really upset about it, and they're like, how are we supposed to get home now? And then one of the other customers, who was like this really eccentric guy with a British accent, is like basically is like, well, you're in luck. I can get this fixed in no time, because I am a certified witch. Which I thought it was interesting that everyone in the world, regardless of gender, is called witch. I thought that was cool. But so basically, he's like, I'm a witch, so I can fix this up in a minute, and I just need a workshop. And so the main character offers her like mom's workshop or something like that, and he's like, all right, so that'll work fine. Just make sure you guard the door, because no one's allowed to see me do magic. And so basically, the guy fixes up the thing, and she gives into temptation and like spies on the guy to see how he does magic, and it turns out basically that the way you do magic is literally just like drawing sigils with like magic ink, and there's like, it's not actually that you need to have like an innate gift. It's just that you need to know how to draw like the sigils. And she had been gifted or she had like bought like the reason that she had gotten into magic in the first place was because she had this like picture book that she had gotten from a traveling sale, or like a salesperson, a marketplace person, a salesperson, and that had showed like fun things about magic, and it had these sigils on it, and it came with a like a fake magic wand, but that turned out to be a pen with the magic ink in it. So it had everything it needed to be able to like actually do magic. So she like that night she goes and she like tries drawing spells and stuff like that, and it basically she starts off and at making like very small things, and then she realizes she can trace them to make it better and make it stronger and more powerful and stuff like that. And she traces one, which I thought this was dumb, right next to the picture of a dragon. Don't think that that's necessarily the best idea, but she did it, and then the the magic guy who who had gone to the shop was like tossing and turning in bed, and he's like, I what the like why does that picture book seem like weird or something like that? And he like has like this realization and immediately like races towards the house, and then it cuts back to like her, and she's like finishing up the spell, and she does it, and all of a sudden like a huge all of a sudden he like bursts as she finishes the spell. He bursts into the room and like grabs her and like flies out of the room as fast as he can and starts like flying her away from the building as fast as possible, and the fucking entire building gets like encased in ice, and the mom is like calling out to her and is like, what's going on? And then she's like, where are you? Then the ice like engulfs her. Oh, we got a shiny Ponyta. Nice. But yeah, so the ice like engulfs her, and the daughter is like inconsolable and like desperately trying to get to her to like try and save her, and the witch is just like trying to pull her away to like, because like it's really really dangerous, and so she like fucking froze her own mother. um so like I came in, I was like about a third of the way through the first episode, and I'm like, I don't know, this doesn't seem like much is going on yet. Like I'm confused. What's going on? And by the end of the episode, I'm like, she fucking froze her own mother, and like now needs to learn magic so that she can fix it theoretically. Like, holy backstory in a fucking package. It's like I was like it near 10 minutes after I was like, I don't know, there's like nothing going on right now. I'm like, holy shit, this is so much plot. So, I will clap now and no longer spoil, but suffice to say, very interested. Immediately hooked after the end of the first episode, and now I want to watch more. But I have to wait until we're watching together, because my wife would never forgive me if I watched with her. She's creating nice palace and sing a lesbian anthem. Yeah, yeah. Um, love is an open door. But yeah, I was certainly hooked after the end of the first episode, and um, you're already getting like some fun side characters and stuff like that. There's one character who's a bitch, like immediately antagonistic to the main character, and like low key tries to kill her. It's just, so it's just like, yeah, it's just like, it's all, I'm already hooked after like 3 episodes. So we'll certainly be watching more. And we have a new show to watch now, so I'm hyped. Um, and I will have to tell my buddy that I started watching it, and that, oh boy, it's a good one so far. Only surefire way for women to get powers in an anime is a cat, so it seems like a lot of extra steps. I mean, isn't it magical to get some pussy? Uh, doors closed. We're good. um, yeah. I guess that's or it's kind of like a chicken and egg thing of like, do you like do are the cats drawn to the magic, or is the magic drawn to the cats? Dun, 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 no. I suppose I probably should have expected that answer. The Chegg came first. Is that another? Oh no, that was the music in the background. I heard the little bring from like the instrumental in the background and thought it was the shiny sound effect. It's like that's really far away if it was. Oh, there's a shady tree. The cuck came first, yes. Whoops, that's not a Pokemon. That was a Pokeball. Bit of a waste, really. Complete it. I already read that one. Dr. Stone just ended 4 seasons. That's in my top 3 anime of all time. Yeah. The same buddy that was recommending the Magic Hat one also said that Dr. Stone's quite good. I'm the slightest bit hesitant because I'm really not a huge fan of like apocalypse stories. But I from what I gather, it is like at least like somewhat comedic. And I might like I really don't know all that much about it, so it's possible that it's like a straight up comedy, and like me saying that is like extremely like extremely naive or something like that, or it could be that I'm completely wrong and it's like not funny whatsoever. But from what I've gathered about the show, from like just like hearing people talk about it, I think that at the very least it's not like extremely serious all of the time, and so I probably will end up watching it, but I always have that hesitation of like I don't like the stories where like humanity is struggling to survive. It just like really makes me stressed out, and I don't get enjoyment out of it as much. It's an action comedy sprinkled with philosophy, so yeah, I'll probably like it then. I like that's what I kind of gathered, is that it's at the very least lighthearted, if not comedic. So hearing it described as a comedy, then yeah, it's probably going to be completely fine. I think it's just like I have a bias against like I don't like, I've talked about this before, but I don't like zombie genre because of the like, you know, apocalyptic aspects of it. I don't like the like, you know, like I don't know, the whatchamacallit, the what the hell is the show? Like the edge of, or not the edge of tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, the one where it like the weather gets like so insane, and like they're like trying to like fly a like a plane or something like that, and the like it's so cold that the fuel is like freezing in the lines, even though like oil freezes at like negative 120 degrees or something like that, or gasoline rather, not oil. But yeah, like those types of content I'm not a huge fan of. They just stress me out more than anything else. But you know, if you give some levity to it, I can at the very least get past the stress to enjoy it. All the way to like really enjoying the shows. Like I love Demon Slayer, even though that is kind of like an apocalyptic world. Independence Day, it stresses me out, but I still enjoy aspects of it, especially because it's, you know, it ends on a happy note. Spoilers. But yeah, I have a little bit of a bias against those types of shows. Not enough to completely stop me, but enough to give me pause. Like a cat. Quite a few War Games types arcs. Oh, nice. Your character could use an outfit change after all its time. I mean, like, this is classic at this point. Also, I don't... I guess I could think about it. But welcome to the stream, Adrian. Definitely a hopeful dystopian fiction. So the hopefulness is basically the whole premise. Let's go. Fucking love hopium. Oh, that's a shaky tree. John, welcome in. Good to see you. How have you been? How's it going? It is going just fine and dandy. Doing some more shiny hunting. It's been a while since I've done some PLA. So I figured I'd hop back to it and see if I can't get myself a shiny Burmy. And talking about animes I've been watching recently. How goes it with you and Nathan and Abby? Pray to cry from hopefulness several times. It's like in Avatar, the Last Airbender, the Ember Island players of Katara's actress. I'm feeling so much hope that I'm tear bending. Glad Ectric isn't real. I'm kind of disappointed. I was hoping. Do 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 do. No, every time. Exactly what I was referencing. Is it scary or good that we're like on the same page so often? Or both? It's probably both. Probably a bit of both. Ay ay ay. I mean, two separate brains both coming up with the name Ebenezer Scrooge for a rubber duck. There's got to be something going on there, at least. Which element would you be a bender for? My favorite element is water. Would I be a waterbender? Probably not. Honestly, I'd probably be a non-bender if I had to guess. But if I were to be a bender, in terms of like my my philosophy, like I guess my philosophy is kind of airbender-ish, but I'm not like spiritual enough. I don't know. That's almost like a personality quiz, a bit. Like I guess if you're going just based on like my body type, then it's probably earthbender. But like philosophy wise, I honestly probably either water or air. I think I'm certainly a massive pacifist, so that kind of like fits with the air nomads. But I'm like not spiritual, so that really doesn't. So like maybe water, because like water and air kind of like have a little bit of a similarity and like going with the flow type of thing. But waterbenders are like more like natural world based, I guess. Ectric the dog bender. I mean, honestly, considering how relatively easy it is for me to get the dogs to do something versus my wife, you would think so. Been busy? Out of town for work a bit? It's not shiny, right? Yeah, no. Okay. Out of town for work for a bit. Moved into a new apartment in June. Nathan and I went to the Cardinals game today. Surprised them with the game and a jersey. Nice. Down over 55 pounds. Congratulations. That is awesome. Glad to hear you're taking care of yourself. I actually went to the Red Sox game last Saturday. Got to see them play the Rays and a come-from-behind victory, no less. It was a great game. One of my high school buddies came and his wife came up to visit, so we went to see a game because we always try to see a game when they're in town, and or when we're in town visiting them. And so we went. We were originally going to go see a Yankees Red Sox game, but the tickets were like $200 for the nosebleeds, and there were also like very few seats left because we put it off for too long. So we decided to do audible to a different weekend and just do like a regular game that they happen to be in town, and got to see a really good game. So we lucked out. David, welcome in. Good to see you. Give me whatever can do bloodbending, like me, be like Chozo from JJK. I've never seen Jujutsu Kaisen, so I don't know who that is. We were going to a Cards Cubs game. Ooh, those aren't cheap. Yeah, for sure. Those are certainly. I mean, any rivalry game is going to be more expensive, but like it was like $200 for the nosebleed seats, and we ended up paying like $100 for like grandstand seats for the other games. So like like the prices were just absolutely jacked up to shit. It was crazy. You don't seem like the blood bending type? No, I very much am not. Well, no, I'm not. So I was gonna make an erection joke, but I decided that I couldn't think of anything in the moment, and I was laughing too hard, so I just didn't. I was too hard, so I didn't. I would be a paper bender. I mean, origami is kind of cool. I don't know why this just popped. I mean, I know why this just popped in my head, but it's such a weird one to pop in my head. I remember when I was in elementary school. I had a friend, and that we would like during free periods and stuff like that, we would like fold paper airplanes and like throw them at each other's desks and stuff like that. And like it started off just being like who could like make the better paper airplane and stuff like that. And then it turned into like there was a war between our desks, and the Air Force was like going at it and stuff like that. And I remember that like I decided that I was going to win the war. And so I spent like an afternoon after school just folding as many paper airplanes as I could. And I brought them in a bag with me to school the next day. And at like indoor recess, I brought them out and just like flooded his desk with paper airplanes. And then we ended up just throwing them all around, and a lot of other people in class got into it. So it ended up being a pretty cool thing. But like I just remember like I was like I sometimes I'm like, you know, was I always this competitive? Yeah, I was. I always had hyperfixations. I spent an entire afternoon folding paper airplanes just so I could win an imaginary battle I was having with a friend. Decided to go to today's game to welcome back our home run derby champ. Stadium game of standing ovation. It was awesome. That's Schwarber? Schwarber was the one that won. I haven't been following too closely with the baseball this season because the Mets are atrocious, and I don't want to hurt myself any more than I already have by being a Mets fan. So I haven't kept up. I think he was in the finals at least, but I don't remember. Insert better erection joke than Ectric's here. Yeah, I mean, you know. I bet you qualify for free testosterone testing now. Legends Arceus changed my perception of 5 Pokemon lines for the worse. Paris, Murkrow, Quillfish, Weasel, and Beautyfly/Dustox. Why are they so aggressive in this game? Paris for sure. Murkrow doesn't. I don't think I'm in the Mirelands enough for them to bother me. Weasel, I'm also still fine with. And then Beautyfly and Dustox, I also don't like. Really, the only one that like has like, I've had that same thing happen with me is Paris. Although it's not necessarily that it's like I dislike them more now. It's much more that like I just see them as an aggressive Pokemon as opposed to like a cute little bug that just kind of sits around. I'm trying to think what Pokemon do I think of differently because of PLA. Let me see. Let me look through the Pokedex real quick. Let's see. So we've got all these guys, all the starters I think of the same. I mean, I am more of a fan of Wurmple now because of Purple. So there's that. I'm a little bit less fond of Ponyta and Rapidash just because they run away so much. Stantler annoys me now. Eevee, I have like a love-hate relationship with because like I have tried getting so many of them for shinies and taken so long to get so few, that like, it's like I get excited every time I see an Eevee, but also have a little bit of disdain for like non-shiny Eevee. Jordan Walker beat Schwarber for the home run derby. First Cardinals player to win it. Oh, sorry. Sorry, I forgot you went to a Cardinals game against the Cubs, not you went to a Cubs game against the Cardinals. Sorry, I had that flipped in my head. My bad. Jordan Walker. I see. I knew Schwarber was in the finals. I did not know who the other person was, so I would not have been able to name Jordan Walker. Paris has an eyeful attitudinous. Nice. Real Napoleon complex there. Don't dislike them. I just see them as far more aggressive. Yeah, this game made me hate Shinx so much. I forgive you. Thank you. I've gotten way too many shiny Shinxes. I've gotten way too many shiny Shinxes as well, but like it's more that I just like am no longer like it's a good shiny, but I'm like almost think of like shiny Shinx as like the normal now. Let's see. Any other Pokemon that like I have like a drastically different opinion of? Slightly more annoyed at Abra because it's annoying to catch. There's got to be. I know that there's at least one where I'm like, this thing is a nightmare to try and catch. Trying to remember. It's been a while since I've actually had to catch a lot of these Pokemon. Wishcash a little bit, or no, Barboach. Barboach is annoying because they're so freaking tiny, and they also attack you constantly. None of these are all that annoying. None of those. Sliggoo is annoying. Rolling around everywhere. Really don't, really not fond of those. Oh, yeah, this one. The Togepi line. Especially Togetic and Togekiss. I have a much greater disdain for these Pokemon now because of this game. Mainly because they are so incredibly obnoxious to try and catch, and they're also like they have the dual. Welcome to Stream Dazzling. They have the dual problem of both being annoying to try and catch because they run away constantly, and bad catch rate. I did it twice. Did you just do it twice? Oh, you did. Okay, I see. But welcome to the stream, Dazzling. This game made me hate professional baseball. Gotten to the point where I just leave shinies alone if I already have so many of them. I can't not catch them, especially on stream. But I definitely am no longer get excited when I see one. Just wanted to stop by, drop a like and chat a bit for bed. Keep it up. See you around. Thank you so much, John. I really appreciate it. Have a good one, and hope to see you around again soon. Top line was boosted, in my opinion, because of how neutral they are towards you. You can just hang out with them in a crowd, and they won't care. Oh, yeah, same. Double the mines, double the fun. I see. Dazzling yearns for the mines. I mean, don't we all? Aren't we all children in the eyes of the Lord? And all of the children yearn for the mines. So we all yearn for the mines in the eyes of the Lord. And by the Lord, I mean our billionaire and trillionaire overlords that control every aspect of our lives. Nothing there. So this is going to be my last stream until next week, because I am going to be traveling this weekend. So I will be streaming again Sunday at the earliest, probably more likely Monday. But, or no, definitely not streaming Sunday, because I rescheduled the game night I usually have on Friday nights to Sunday night. So no stream Sunday. It will be Monday, the next stream. So we will probably do more budgies, I would guess, at some point next week. I want to get some more Stardew done, so we'll hop back in that. I might do another BDSP Shiny Marill Hunt / Placid Ducks. We got some good games going on. The best miners are miners. It just makes sense. I mean, I guess. Especially if you can't afford a canary. Despite the increased odds of the special outbreaks in Scarlet and Violet, I had no luck in finding of the special Pokemon. Mr. Mime. Nothing there. Seems like most of the fighting types in this game aren't bothered by your presence. It's almost like they don't see you as a threat until you seemingly attack them. Yeah, I kind of like that. Like, I love the Pokemon that are just neutral in this game. Automatically a much bigger fan of those Pokemon just from not having to, like, chase them around. Shiny Luck has been successful elsewhere in game. Got a shiny Lotad near where some Phoebus were. My second shiny Slowpoke from the leak where the False Dragon Titan was. Nice. GG's there. Stardew? Stars don't have dew. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they do indeed have dew. Sometimes they do. They're too hot. I mean, I'm also attracted to suns, so... Or stars. Delibird isn't a fan of your presence. I mean, I can leave. We'll be taking over streams on Saturday and Sunday. 22 hours of Baldur's Gate. Honestly, that would be dope. I've been taking I've been enjoying the slight hiatus I've been taking from Baldur's Gate because I think I got a little burned out after my third playthrough. Not that I'm I don't enjoy the game anymore or anything like that, but I think I was just like, first of all, like I was using the same build as the one on stream, so I'm probably gonna swap out the build for something else, long term, just to like have a little bit of uniqueness in it, because like the build that I am currently using in the stream one, it's quite powerful, but it also takes a ton of setup, is like really annoying resource wise to constantly like make sure you have everything set up correctly, and even then there were still times where I was getting out damaged or getting out output, I guess. I don't know how you would phrase it. There were people on the some of the people I was playing with were still doing more damage than me, even though I had this like theoretically like extremely overpowered like top of the line build. So I like, it has like a high ceiling, but it also like most of the time you're not using it at its like peak capacity.
You can't miss the extremely grounded duck stream you were planning.
Extremely grounded ducks stream. Nice. Forgot the most important stream, the grounded one. I guess that would technically be next week. What kind of dew? Mountain Dew? I guess so. Understandable? Yeah. So like, I just was like, you know, after I beat the honor mode campaign, it just was like, you know, I'm a little bit done with that build. Like it was fun when it was working well, but it was also like annoying to upkeep at times, and so I want to try something different, and also like going back to like Act 1 now, and just doing like the middle of Act 1 can, like after like the first couple times you do it, can kind of be a drag. Like you need to do all this stuff to be able to like make sure that you're getting all of the experience you need to be able to like be overpowered for like the end game, and especially with my plans to like achievement hunt, I need to do like a bunch of extra stuff just to like prepare for beating the achievements and stuff like that I'm trying to beat. So overall, it's, you know, it needs to be done, but it just like I can only fight the goblin camp in so many different ways before it just kind of is like, all right, yeah, I'll just like, and honestly, that's a bad example because the goblin camp I think is one of the best uh battles in the first act, but like I'm trying to think like the owl bear fight or something like that. Like you got to get it done, but it's just like I don't know. It like it's just unnecessarily like slightly stressful, but also like mostly just doing it for the sake of doing it. I played it 4.9 times before I hit my wall. Yeah, yeah. And I mean like I've done the thing is I've done 3 full runs, but I've also got like this solo stream one, um, which is like in the middle of the first act. I've got like a one with my college friends that we've done like a total of like 2 play sessions over 2 years. So we're making it a joke that it's an annual occurrence that we play the game. So we're still in like the beginning of Act 1 on that one, and so it's just like I've got like a bunch of like other saves on top of that are just like it's just like I've played 400 and something hours of the game. Like I've gotten my money's worth for sure. I can take a little break. Two types of people in this world: those who say Delibird, and those who say delivered, but with a with a B instead of a B. Yeah, I always say Delibird. It's probably more correct to say it Delibird, but I prefer Delibird. It's on a Sunday, maybe, so it could be counted for the week after. That's what I was. Yeah, that's like, it's if it's on Sunday, that's like technically the next week, but you know, stuck in Act 3, can't motivate to fight Orin this time. Gotcha. Yeah, that one is kind of tough. Is this just like a normal playthrough? Is this an honor mode run? Oh, sorry, didn't mean to talk over that. I didn't hear it because it was whispered until I was already talking. If it wasn't Delibird, it wouldn't taste like chicken. Nintendo tried to make a new patent to help with their Palworld lawsuit, but they used a fan game to try to prove they owned a mechanic. Hilarious. I hate how ubiquitous it is that corporations are just, you know, amoral assholes. Amoral to immoral assholes. Like, it doesn't matter how good of a product the company does or doesn't make, or hasn't made in the past. It's just, like, everything is getting shittier these days, and everyone is, like, just trying to increase shareholder profit, and it doesn't matter what the company is. Like, I am thoroughly disavowed of the idea of, like, companies and corporations being my friend, but, like, it really is exhausting to, like, constantly feel guilty for enjoying any specific, like, corporation's product. Because they're, like, probably underpaying their workers, exploiting people, and also, like, you know, breaking the spirit of fair use. The Whisper TTS is inaudible from our end? Interesting. I might have... Oh, I think I turned down the, I turned down the TTS volume because it's very loud, normally, compared to, like, the rest of the audio, so, I was trying to avoid the, you know, ad the ad issue of like what when you're watching TV at like 1 in the morning and you fall asleep and then all of a sudden the ads are like 30,000 times louder than everything else in the TV show and you're like jolted awake by a nuclear bomb of sound going off telling you about, you know, the latest drug that you should take for your mesothelioma that you don't have. But Sorry, that's a uniquely American thing. If you're from another country like Canada, you're blasted awake by the sound of people talking about how much they love maple syrup. I don't know. I've never watched TV in Canada, but yeah. Regardless, the volume thing. So I try not to do that to people, but that probably does mean that the whisper is too quiet. What TTS options are there? There is TTS Whisper, which is the whisper voice. There's just just regular old TTS, which just does like the default the default voice. There is TTS Dandy, which does like a posh, goofy British accent. And then there is TTS Yeehaw, which is like a cowboy. Palworld's also skyrocketed in popularity again now that 1.0 has dropped. Yeah, I saw more people were streaming it again. I forgot that the original like hype around Palworld was all for like a early access type of thing, and that it hadn't officially dropped yet. Hit nearly 1 million concurrent players on Steam. Damn, that is crazy. Three and Silk Song I had to restart from since I missed something in Act 2. So I had to restart that act as well. Good news though, because I got one achievement last run, I don't need to do it again. Nice. Good luck. We're supposed to help people. We're supposed to help our people, starting with our stockholders. Ectric, who's helping them out, huh? Yeah, won't anyone think of the landlords? Yes, freezing the rent would mean that you don't have to pay more money, but have you considered that the landlord's feelings would be hurt, huh? You didn't think about the landlord's feelings when you were hoping that you would be able to pay for rent and also some food this week, huh? How else will they be able to buy their 12th yacht? During my rerun through Act 2, I got to explore the prison part of the slab from the third key found somewhere in the ducts. And meet your fathers, brothers, nephews, cousins, former roommate. All of humanity originated in mesothelioma. Learned that in elementary school. Oh, there's a good pun here. There's a good pun here. Yeah, I learned that in Sumer school. There we go. I got one. It wasn't the original idea that I had, but I was gonna go for a pun based on but instead of saying something related to just went and then came up with something different. It had over 2 million when it launched, so it's not at the same numbers, but it's still insane. Yeah, I mean, like having that much of a resurgence for a 2-year-old game, like you said, even if it didn't hit the peak of like initial sale or like initial launch, that like you're never gonna hit that peak again. Like in 99.9% of cases, you're not hitting the peak of like your first initial launch. I waited for like 3 seconds and then still picked the wrong one. Can't get behind devs straight up roasting assets either, so the Palworld peeps don't have any sympathy for me. Yeah, I like it. I kind of find it funny, but like it is like pretty blatant. Like I am somewhat on their side in that like I think that Nintendo is overly litigious, and like companies large companies in general, I don't want them winning over like the quote unquote little guy, but also like it is kind of baffling to me that it's not an open and shut case that they're just like plagiarizing. Like not on the game mechanics, but on like the designs. Like the game mechanics, I think that, you know, it's broad enough that like you shouldn't be able to like patent that kind of thing. I think that like the idea of catching a collectible or something like that is not like, it shouldn't be patentable, but like have you seen like like half of the pals are just like it's this Pokemon, but a slightly different color, um, and slightly more anime, or I guess like slightly more like I don't know, slightly more animated. I don't know, slightly less anime maybe, slightly closer to like the original creature it was the Pokemon was based off of. We'll go with that. Third time's the charm. People didn't originate from mesothelioma. We originated from mitochondria. I mean, it is the powerhouse of Africa. So, the achievement is called Twisted Child. I love that band. I'm Euphrates. That it's a that's a I'm Euphrates. That's a reach, Your Honor. Nice. There's not really that high of a percentage of those, especially after later updates added new pals. I guess. Maybe. I mean, that's also true. Like, I've never played the game. I am only basing this off of the probably cherry picked examples of like the most egregious ones. But like, it is still surprising, like how many of them are just like, you know, uh, Electabuzz but slightly different, or Luxray but slightly different, or Rayquaza but slightly different. You know, Gyarados but slightly different. Just tainted the game forever for me. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I probably would have played it at some point, but at this point, it just feels like I kind of missed out on the hype train, and I don't like. I sometimes pick and choose some games where I acknowledge that I probably would enjoy them if I played them, but I'm not interested enough in. I know that if I were to play them, I would want to put a certain amount of time and effort into them to make it like worth it for me to play the game in the first place, and I'm not willing to do that, or I feel like I don't have the time to do that, and therefore I'd rather not play the game at all than play it less than I would want to, or get obsessed and let something else fall off because of it. So Pal World is one of those games where I acknowledge I probably would have some fun with it. I would want to like be a completionist about it and like collect all the pals and do all of the main storyline and stuff like that, and it would just be a large investment of time, especially stream time, because I would want to do it on stream. I wouldn't want to play like offline or anything like that, and something would inevitably fall by the wayside because of it. They could have done work to make their own monsters like every other monster collector game. I mean, like, yes and no. Like I think that they're like it. It felt like they. It felt like some of the designs were like more them trying to stick it to Nintendo than anything else. It's extremely hard for me to believe that there wasn't at least inspiration from some of those Pokemon in the design of those pals. No matter how like what percentage of the pals that actually are like that, the ones that are like that, I cannot believe that they were completely oblivious to the largest franchise in the world, um, and a game that a game type that they are obviously interested enough in to make a version of. I cannot imagine that those people who made that game aren't familiar with Pokemon in some way, shape, or form, and therefore aren't aware of some of the designs from Pokemon. I think that at the very least they are heavily inspired by Pokemon, and it feels weird that they decided to like lean into it rather than try and avoid it in those cases. Like, it almost felt like they were like trying to get on Nintendo's bad side because they felt like they could still like they could legally get away with it, and then it would like stick it to Nintendo. Like, it felt more like they were doing that to stick it to Nintendo than for, like, the game's design itself. Have you made any plans on playing through Hollow Knight Silksong for a stream? No, I haven't even... I played one stream of Hollow Knight, the original, so far, so I would want to beat that before I played Silksong. So that is a long way off. Morsi Hisuian Braviary. It looks like a demon in a dress clinging to its back. I could see it. I think Braviary's, Hisuian Braviary is a pretty good, cool design. I love his eyebrows. Or her eyebrows. Their eyebrows. Gotta get back into chivalry. I might at some point. I think I did actually take it off of my computer to give myself more space because it's like a larger save file. But I mean, I still have it in my Steam library, so I can just re-download it. It's not that big of a deal, but I've kind of just I think it falls into the same area that Marvel Rivals does. Of I have gotten to the point where I plateaued enough in my skill set that I don't feel like I want to play like solo or like by myself. I don't. That's the same thing. That is a synonym. I don't know why I felt the need to say it again, but different. But yeah, I don't. I feel like I don't want to solo queue in that game, because like I don't like if I'm solo queuing in a game. The main reason I'm playing the game is to like improve my skill sets or like try and like be as good at the game as possible. And I feel like I've plateaued enough that it doesn't feel worth it to like keep on solo queuing in the game. And my friend group has kind of fallen out of favor with the game or not fallen out of favor. It's not like they don't like it, but it is there are other games that have captured the group attention, and therefore I haven't played it in a while. And it's the same with Marvel Rivals. Like, I still like the gameplay loop a lot, and I enjoy it, but I enjoy it as like a friend game, and currently my friends are not playing it, so therefore I am not playing it. And the other thing is it's really hard to commentate while I'm playing that game because I'm constantly eyes peeled to try and not get like attacked from behind, but that is less of an issue than just like, you know, having other games that are more important to me at the moment. Probably saw the new Captain America summer skin and dropped Marvel Rivals. No, actually, that was one of the things that might bring them back. My buddy sent me the photo, and I went, oh my god, that is the most like that puts to shame like pretty much every other costume, and there were a lot of very fan servicey ones, especially of a lot of the female characters, and that one puts them all to shame with how fan servicey it is, and also I found my new skin for Captain America. They absolutely would still have been sued because Nintendo isn't suing for copyright infringement / design theft. I agree. I just I know that they're suing for the mechanics, which also it makes me feel like, okay, so obviously the amount of like the designs of the Pokemon I want to call them Pokemon. The designs of the pals obviously isn't enough of an issue to warrant any sort of legal anything because even Nintendo isn't trying to do it, which means that they think that they thoroughly have absolutely no shot of winning. Otherwise, they would. So obviously, I don't understand the line, but of where it's drawn before it's like, you know, something that's like against the law, of like you're infringing on someone's copyright or on their IP. So like obviously by a legal definition, it is not close enough or, you know, derivative enough that it is considered infringing on IP. But you know, it's in the court of public opinion, it is absolutely infringing on the IP. And I don't necessarily have that much of a problem with the idea of like that. I'm not crying about Nintendo's lost revenue or anything like that. But like, it does feel like it. Like I feel like I wouldn't want to have that as like a thing people are thinking about when they're playing my game. Like I don't want them thinking about my competitor when they're thinking about my game. So I don't understand the logic behind doing it just from a game design standpoint, other than this is going to piss off Nintendo and we want to piss off Nintendo. Or maybe their thought process is this will make everyone think of Pokemon and associate the good things of Pokemon with our game, and then they'll go and play it and buy it. Which I guess maybe that's the thought process, but I feel like it in me it just makes me feel like I'm playing not Pokemon, and then I could be playing Pokemon. I don't think Pal World is threatening Pokemon at all. No, I don't think it's going to threaten Pokemon at all. If I said anything that makes it feel like that, then that's not what I meant. But Crunchy, welcome in. Pal World is announced way before it launched, and a lot of its designs have been shown in the trailer. Nintendo easily could have shut it down for launch if they wanted. Yeah, no, all of this is like this is not at all about like the legality of it. I acknowledge that like the designs are obviously legal, because otherwise if Nintendo thought they had like a 0.1% chance of winning that lawsuit for like the design theft, they would have absolutely buried them in legal fees. But they didn't. So obviously their lawyers think that it is a 0.0000% chance of them winning that case, which I accept that that's the case. I don't necessarily understand what the line is, but also like I don't really understand the philosophy behind it, even putting aside the legality of it. However, from the beginning has been the trollish look at our Pokemon copies game, and Nintendo came up with what they thought would be easier to take court. I don't think Power World is starting. Yeah, I don't think so either. Blatant design theft is far easier to take to court than patent infringement when they've had to make patents now to help their lawsuit because they're losing so hard. I mean, I guess maybe, but also like I feel like it's harder to. It's easier to take to court, but it's also I feel like harder to prove than like the mechanics. Like I think that there's enough subjectivity in like art that it's hard to like prove that kind of thing, whereas mechanics are much more of an objective thing, and that's why they're going for that. So I would say that like design theft is harder to prove in my mind. Oh, sorry, Dazzling, I didn't realize I missed a message. Effects of the fog from the original Diamond Pearl is actually more in Legends Arceus, and not in BDSP? Really? Interesting. I did not know that. Cool. Nintendo's point was to get Power World completely shut down because they were so blatantly using Pokemon's cultural status as part of their marketing. Power World has plagiarized Pokemon for the first trailer, and Nintendo just bided their time until they thought they could win in court. Yeah, I don't know. Like I think that obviously there was intent to associate Power World with Pokemon from like the idea of making some of the designs as close to designs of Pokemon as they have. I don't necessarily understand the logic behind it, other than maybe that it's just like you just want to get associated with a popular product and you don't really care how. But I also think that like it should like I think that legally speaking, I think that it is probably better to err on the side of let people like take heavy inspiration from things and maybe you get your IP infringed on slightly, that rather than like making patents for every small minor thing and just suing everyone else who tries to make anything unique into oblivion just so that you can monopolize people's ability to play games. So I am much more on the side of Palworld in terms of like the legality issues. I don't think Nintendo should win or anything like that. I think that Palworld should win from a legal standpoint. It just like I feel like their entire strategy is like kind of you're when you're like daring them to sue you by doing things that are like so obviously like hinting at Pokemon and referencing Pokemon that like anyone like I have not I would guarantee that like you could find someone who hasn't played Pokemon in like 10 years, and if you showed them some of the pals, they'd be like, hey, that kind of looks like that Pokemon. And I mean maybe that's inevitable because like people associate those types of characters with Pokemon no matter what. Like, yeah, if you see Digimon, people who are not in the know are just gonna call them Pokemon. Like that, like Pokemon is ubiquitous in that regard. So like maybe might as well lean in because no matter what, they're gonna think you're a ripoff of Pokemon anyway. But like, it still feels like I don't know. It feels like they could have made it made it easier on them to like for like 100% of people to be on their side without any hesitation whatsoever by like leaning away from the direct references a little bit is all I kind of feel like I'm sure there are some like people who like are ride or die for Nintendo that are like, no, this Palworld is absolutely ridiculous and should be completely removed from all stores because they stole from Pokemon. I mean, look at this Pokemon. Look at this thing. It's exactly the same as this Pokemon. Like, you have a lot less of those people able to defend Nintendo with any sort of convincing argument if you lean away from those similarities just a little bit, and you make Nintendo look even more greedy and unreasonable when they do sue you anyway. We at least have several lawyers in chat who know all the ins and outs of the case. Request your plea plausible deniability. They wanted the notoriety of being sued by Nintendo instead of making the best possible game. That's my closing statement on the topic. Yeah, I mean, it's possible. I don't know what was in their minds when they were doing it. It is a little like it's hard for me to come up with an innocuous explanation. Best chance at winning would have been before launch when the devs didn't have much money to fight back with. Waiting until it sold millions of copies gave them less chance. Yeah, but I think that also there is something to be argued that they were trying not to Streisand themselves. It's possible that you don't you don't respond and Palworld doesn't get big enough for anyone to actually notice, and then you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about like the bad press of like suing another company for copyright infringement, and you don't have to worry about like putting more money in their pockets. So I think that the reason they didn't before it came out was because they were trying not to draw any additional attention to the game that could be seen as a direct competitor and a different version of theirs. And then once it came out and it became popular, then there's at a certain point you go okay, it's gonna be popular no matter what. We might as well go for what we were gonna do anyway. I think that's probably the reason that Nintendo waited as long as they did, was because they were trying not to Streisand affect themselves. It didn't work, but I think that was the thought process, if I had to guess. Again, I don't know what they were thinking, but those are the multi-billion-dollar company alone people. Yeah. But like, yeah, and I think they're inherently going to argue that no matter what. So like, those people aren't the people I'm talking about. They're gonna white knight for corporations till the day they die. But there are people who are not as familiar or not as ride or die one way or another, who would be more convinced of Pal World's unmitigated. It's everyone loves to have a black and white issue. Is the way I see it. Is like no one wants to have like that little bit of gray and like feel like they can't be 100% on one side or the other. And the design choices make it harder for people to 100% be on their side, which then makes them feel icky about it and then makes them like not want to talk about it either way. And then you don't have people, defending you in a court of public opinion. Oh, that is an alpha. It's not shiny, though. So many wholly original games being made by great people that Power World doesn't occupy any percentage of my gaming brain space. Yeah, I probably will not end up playing it. It's not necessarily because of the design choices or anything like that. It's much more just that I already have plenty of games that fill that type of game play for me, and I don't need another franchise to add in, and it will also take away from my ability to play other games. So I won't have nearly enough time to beat my grass patch percent run in budgies if I play Pal World. I do plan on playing Pokopia at some point, though. That one I'm just incredibly afraid of, because I know that the second I start playing it, it is going to be all I want to play for months. Like it is going to become the only game I play. I already know, because I can very easily get obsessed with Animal Crossing or a Stardew or something along those lines of a town builder type of thing. And I can very easily get obsessed with Pokemon, and you're taking two of my obsessions and just smushing them together. It's, yeah, I am, the second I play that game, you will lose any ability of me to play pretty much any other game, which is why I haven't done it yet, because I'm just so afraid of losing myself into that game. But I will, at some point, give in and go and play it, because it does look very fun. Nintendo generally doesn't really care about design theft. There's hundreds of games that take heavy inspirations from not just fully still Pokemon. Nintendo doesn't touch them, and their loss to Triggerfinger is inarguably intense. I guess. I don't know. I'm thinking also of them, constantly taking down, fan-made games or mods or fan hacks and stuff like that. They're incredibly protective over it, and it's frustrating every time, because I as much as I don't understand the desire to do it, it doesn't Pal World taking heavy inspiration to plagiarizing, if you want to call it that, Pokemon designs does not bother me enough to not want to see developers succeed and stuff like that, and want a multinational corporation to step on people smaller than them. And I mean, again, Pal World's not at all a perfect victim, but it still doesn't get to the point where I'm I want them to not succeed, because I don't, at the end of the day, I don't think that that's a good reason to not. I don't think it's a good reason to for their game to get pulled from they put a lot of work into that game, regardless of the inspiration that they took and the designs that they heavily inspired. So that there's still a lot of time, effort, and love that went into the game from developers, and I don't want to see them completely crushed by a multinational corporation. So at the end of the day, I just I think that Nintendo is going to do that about anything and everything that gets any sort of notoriety. They'll ignore it as long as the thing that is bothering them doesn't have any traction and no one knows about it. Second, anyone knows about it, they will immediately try to stamp it out of existence, rather than just be cool about it and see it as free advertisement. Because there have been studies that like straight up piracy is like good for advertising media. Like the way that companies think about it is entirely wrong. All it does is engender a lot of ill will from people who see you as greedy and bullies. People are going to do it anyway, and people actually do see those things and go, I should buy the original Pokemon. That, like, I forgot how much fun I have playing Pokemon. I should, after playing, Pokemon Uranium, for example, I should go back and play a new Pokemon game. Actually, there was a new one that just came out a year ago or so. Let me actually buy that one, because I have the Switch 2 now, so I could get it. There's one on sale at GameStop or something like that. People do that all the time. I don't want to see lawsuit chasers succeed, but that's just me. I mean, I guess. I don't know. I don't feel like Palworld is so blatantly lawsuit chasing that it deserves to, like, it doesn't override my disdain for corporations, I guess, is the thing, is the calculation I'm making. Because, like, it does feel a little icky with how, like, directly it was, but it also feels even more icky to root for a corporation. I don't want Nintendo to win because of what they're suing for. If they win the lawsuit, it opens the door for them to sue every other monster catcher game. Yeah, that's another thing, is precedent. I'd rather the precedent be that you can, be a bit of a dick, rather than corporations can sue unique games out of existence. I'm rooting against both parties. Yeah, it does. I mean, I'm not quite at the point where it's feeling like Yankees versus Phillies World Series, but it certainly is Yankees versus Dodgers. And for those of you who are not familiar with baseball, which is probably everyone, because John left, as a Mets fan, I hate the Phillies. I also hate the Yankees because they're constantly winning. So when they were in the World Series together, I was ostensibly rooting for the Yankees because I hate the Phillies more, but it felt real icky rooting for the Yankees. And I don't think it's at that point where I would, what I'm really rooting for is a meteor to come and hit the stadium. But I certainly, it certainly feels like, team that has been constantly winning recently versus team that has historically won. And I really would rather a team that hasn't won it before to win if it's not my team. Stop that and focus hard on improvements. I don't know. I don't know enough about the game, so I can't speak on it either way. Alex, welcome in. Good to see you. Hello. All right. I already did the loop, so let's put that. Return to the village. Going around in circles. Yeah. I tend to do that. I tend to talk in circles. I constantly am trying to. I actually when my buddy visited this past week, we stayed up until like 4 a.m. both nights that he was over, just like talking about like anything and everything, and like got really into like philosophical conversations and stuff like that. And he actually had like he was talking about another one of our friends who asks these type of philosophical questions. He brought up one of the questions that had been asked of him recently, that he was curious about what my answer would be, and it was basically like,
Nintendo is going to sue us because a Pokeball is a circle.
Exactly. Yes. But yeah, so he was telling me about this question or this question that our friend had talked about recently, where he was saying that he was like asking um, if you were to find that time paused for the entire world except for you for 5 years, and you don't have to worry about resources, you don't have to worry about like your health or anything like that. You are just existing in this 5 year time span where you can do whatever you want. You don't have you can learn anything you want. You can go wherever you want. Do whatever activity you desire, with no responsibilities for 5 years. But at the end of the 5 years, you will not remember anything that happened, and when life resumes, it will be as if no time had passed. What would you do? And like, really interesting question that like is completely it completely changes my answer, adding the you don't remember anything part, because and I started getting into this and explaining it out, and I realized that like a huge importance for me is and I swear this is related to what we were just talking about. A huge importance to me is being able to share my experiences with other people. This whole channel is me wanting to share my experiences playing video games with you guys. Being able to, talk with you as I'm doing it, for you to all see the hype moments, and all of the bits in between if you are so inclined, and be able to provide the slightest amount of entertainment, joy, whatever positive feelings you can get out of watching me play video games. I want that is a big driver for why I want to do this. Like, I don't think I would ever record myself if I thought that absolutely no one would ever, if I knew for a fact that no one ever looked at it or would look at it. Like, if I knew for a fact that if I posted a video, oh, I just heard the shiny sound. Where are you, bud? There it is. I get it. Shiny number 2. Really? Luckily it's a Staravian and it's not running away. There we go. Alright, let me update that shiny count. Oh, my camera's kind of dark today. Whatever, I don't care. But yeah, what was I saying? I was saying that like if I knew for a fact that if I posted a video and it would forever stay at 0 views, I would be much less inclined to post it. Not because I want the notoriety, but because the entire point of posting this is that someone might stumble on it one day and get even the slightest amount of like, entertainment, joy, get a chuckle out of it for like a couple seconds, and it might slightly improve their day. That is like the main reason I want to do this. And I'm passionate about video games, so that's why I'm doing video games. But like, I think about like some of the other passions that I have, and like it always comes back to like, oh, I should make a YouTube channel out of this, or like something like that. Like, I love playing my instrument, and so I like playing in a community band because we get to do concerts where we play for other people and bring them joy. I also think, oh, I should do like covers of songs that I like and stuff like that, and then post them to YouTube so that other people can enjoy them. Or I have this idea for like a story. I should write into a novel and like share it for other people to read so that they might one day think, huh, this guy was really bad at writing. Anyway, but the concept was kind of okay. So yeah, like all of that is like rooted in me wanting to give some sort of experience to someone else, share an experience with someone else, have camaraderie with someone else, and also like partially it's wanting some sort of tangible legacy that is able to outlive me. Because as someone who doesn't really believe in an afterlife, the idea of non-existence in the future is not pleasant one. We'll put it that way. So like I want to like have I want to have some sort of record of, you know, my likes, my dislikes, who I was as a person, what my beliefs were, you know, my hopes and dreams and stuff like that. Having some sort of record also brings me a bit of comfort in that, like, at the very least, even if I am no longer living, part of who I was is still doing so. Basically trying to avoid that second death that they talk about in Coco, where the skeletons will disappear if no one remembers them who's still living. So like that's the kind of thing that I think also kind of inspires it. So all of that, like, to say that it's, you know, the premise of the thing of like not having any sort of ability to remember anything, and also not being able to interact with anything or like have any record of that time having passed, makes it so that I wouldn't most of the things that I would want to do, I wouldn't do because of it. And in thinking of all of those and like stuff like that, I realized that like the way that I process things is always in like wanting to teach, and like enjoying like teaching as not only as a way to like, in that like I like to pass on information because I do, but also it helps me understand things better. So like I realized, even as like I was going through school, I always constantly was thinking about, okay, if I was the teacher, what would I have said to like try and explain it in a way that someone else could have in the class could have understood if they were having trouble understanding it the way that the teacher said it. And I would like constantly be reframing it, simplifying the words, trying to come up with analogies, all of those things, trying to get as many things, get as many different ways to say the same thing as possible, so that you would be able to come to an understanding with someone. They would be able to understand what you're saying, the information you're trying to provide, and have that aha moment. And so I think that kind of infects my entire personality, the way I talk. And so I constantly am rephrasing things, constantly reiterating things, especially when I monologue, so that there will be an understanding, and that if I just throw enough spaghetti at the wall of different ways to say the same thing, eventually one of them will give you that aha moment of what I'm trying to say. And then it's really annoying for the people who got it the first time and have to hear me say it 4 more times. We're supposed to get positive feelings from these streams. Yeah, ideally, but I'll take anything. You want to share whimsy like Willy Wonka? Yeah, kind of. I get neutral feelings at best, at least until we do Groupons. Been watching the stream for almost a year and a half, and I haven't gotten a single chuckle. Well, maybe you should hunt in gold and silver. Are you writing a novel? I have concepts of a novel. I am not actively writing anything because I have ADHD, and writing is like pulling teeth for me. It is not one of my hyperfixations, so I don't do it. We know you're bad at writing. We stick around anyway. I mean, yeah. You need to start drawing your streams on cave walls. Yeah, in case there's a solar flare. Yeah, I'll I'll get really into marble sculpting and turn it into cuneiform. Cuneiform? Is that how you pronounce it? Don't go tracing waterfalls. Just stick to rivers and lakes that you're used to. I mean, fair enough. American Heart Association moment. You know it. Just gotta have that da-dum, 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 da-dum moment. Hey! How's it going, Travis? Hope you're doing well. And Crunchy, thank you for the different random body part. But yeah, that's basically what I in doing that very in-depth philosophical analysis of like what I would do in that situation. I came to like multiple like small epiphanies that like, or like I was able to put into like direct terms things I like vaguely knew about myself, but like wouldn't have like actively thought about necessarily. And one of them is like my desire for, sharing my passions with other people. My, I think I was more consciously aware of the second death one. That one has been with me for a while. But then like the teaching one, like I kind of have that aha moment every time I realize I'm doing it. But it did make me realize that it like how fundamental it is to like everything I do. And all of that from like that philosophical question, and like the answer that I would give to that is that like because so much of my like value is tied to sharing things with other people, sharing things for posterity, have the things having an effect on me moving forward. Like all of the things, like if you were to give me 5 years with no responsibilities and I could do whatever I want, and then at the end of the 5 years, I just move on as if I had had the experience of the 5 years, and everything else is exactly the same in my life. Um, then I would certainly do a ton of like delayed gratification things of like I'd probably go see the world and like see beautiful places without having to worry about traffic, or go maybe I'd learn a new language or a new instrument. Maybe I would learn to cook better. Maybe I would like really try to lock in and get exercising regularly and build good habits. Like there would be a ton of things that I would theoretically do with my time if I knew it was going to last me the rest of my life, or I would be able to take things from those 5 years and use them moving forward, or even if I could just write down what I had learned during those times or something like that. Like I could just record myself talking about it or something like that. Like even if that were the case, I would do so many more things, so many of those types of things. And my thought process with, if I know that at the end of the 5 years it's going to be as if nothing had happened, I think that I am much less driven to do any of that kind of stuff. I think that what's the point in writing a novel if I wake up in 5 years and it's not been written, and I don't have any memory of writing it, and I don't remember what words I used to write it. Like I would get a lot out of the the joy of having a finished product and being able to share it with other people. I don't think I would enjoy the process of writing it just for its own sake. That is not something I would want to do with my time. And similarly with like music, I love playing music. I am very musical in everything that I do. And like I am constantly just singing and like being musical in my day-to-day life. But I don't know that I would play nearly as much trombone, because a huge part of the reason I like playing trombone is because I like playing with other people. The trombone, you can't play all of the parts of a song at the same time. I can't, like with a piano, you can play like the chords and you can play the melody and the harmony all at the same time. You can play multiple notes all at once and have like a full song be played in one instance in one go. You can't do that with a trombone. So the only way I could have a facsimile of that would be recording myself doing each individual part and then playing it back. It's not the same. So the only way you can get that with a trombone is having a bunch of other people playing with you. And if I'm by myself in in this 5 year stint, I don't got anyone to play with. I don't have anyone to play for. The play for is a little bit less important because I do think that I get a lot of just satisfaction out of creating music just to hear it for myself. But I couldn't create the kind of music I would want without other people to share it with. So that's out, or that's not nearly as important. All of those things. So like it's Dr. Stone helped with some of my existential dread. Really, I'm curious. I wonder. Like I feel like it very much might help. It also might at some point cause it a bit, because my current solution is I just don't think about it, because I can't do anything about it, and it stresses me out if I think about it too hard and too long. So I just don't. I don't know that will work forever, especially as I get older and less healthy. But for now, it's working. So like, prematurely thinking about it. I don't know. Maybe it'll help me in the future. Maybe I will just stress about it and then still have no answer. Deals with some of the vastness of time feeling. Interesting. It's been all right. Life's been a little busy. Adopted Lumion as a little sister. Aw, that's sweet. I need to connect with Lumion again and Minx and them again and see if I can we can get a collab stream scheduled, even if it's just like a one-off. I want to game with them again. Eventually, Crunchy is going to cycle through so many body parts. He comes in like left ventricle. I mean, possibly. That might be the next one. Lose your memories. Look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, how and when did I get so buff? Honestly, that was the other thing that because I had a therapy appointment this morning, and I talked about it with my therapist as well, because it was like such a like so many mini epiphanies that I had that I just wanted to share, but like she immediately was like looking to like game the system and like had completely different thoughts to what I did of like, because like I was thinking in terms of like, you know, self-actualization or like, you know, getting like instant gratification or something like that. Like the basic answer of what I would do is probably play a bunch of video games, eat good food as much as I can, and then just kind of do whatever my ADHD fixation is, and just chase dopamine because you know, at the end of 5 years I can eat it whatever the fuck I want, and I'm gonna go back to the original weight that I was at. So might as well. And you know, why do anything with to any sort of like completion if I'm gonna lose all my progress and have to start over without any memory of having done it in the first place. So like that's like my current philosophy. I don't know what, you know, 4.5 years of doing whatever the fuck I want will do to my like my brain, and maybe eventually I will get bored of that and want to do something more meaningful, even if it's only for 5 years. But you know, like my initial instinct is just, hey, chase that dopamine, man. Might as well. But yeah, like my therapist was immediately gaming. Like she immediately was like, I would go and, you know, I would go and like you know, all of the people making the world shitty, I would go and deal with them, or like, you know, I would go and you know, do all, like, break all of the laws that I've been curious, like I would speed on a highway and stuff like. So she immediately thought of like, what can I get away with? I was like, that is not where my mind went, but that's very funny that my therapist thought that. And so she was immediately trying to game the system and stuff like that. And she was like, well, honestly, depending on it, if you like, you could just try to get like extremely buff, and like get your health completely in order. And I was like, yeah, I guess depending on how the situation the thought experiment works, if you like your body stays the same after the 5 years, then yeah, it would be, I mean, honestly, it'd be really fucking funny if you just like one day woke up and you were like incredibly ripped, but also like had a couple more gray hairs, and you just went, what the fuck happened to me? Like, it would, I honestly, like, if I were actually thinking about it, it would be extremely disconcerting, but the concept of doing that to yourself is very funny, objectively. And if like you could eventually learn that you did it to yourself, I think I would find that the funniest thing in the fucking world. Just like, haha, you're buff now and older. She still blames me for everything. It happens. Bye bye now. All right, David, have a good night. Blubbery VR, welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well. Thanks so much for joining in. But yeah, we're yeah, I kind of took it as like you are it's as if no time has passed before and after the 5 years. The only experience you get, the only thing that there's nothing that is kept from those 5 years. It's just like 5 years of everything is paused. You can do whatever the fuck you want, and then it's as if no time has passed, and you wake up the next morning, the exact same person you were beforehand. So that would include, you know, body shape and cholesterol levels, and then my therapist pointed out that you could also cheese that and just eat whatever the hell you want, and as long as you don't die in the 5 years, you go back to whatever weight you were at, weight and health level you were at currently. Which, granted, could be better for me anyway. But like, I certainly would weigh a lot more if I indulged in all of my my desires around food. So it's like we're siblings. Fair. Not sure what we're talking about. I lost the plot. It happens. The 5 years must be up. Blueberry, I don't know what you're looking for, but if you want to chill in here, you're more than welcome. But I'm not gonna just, like, you know, I'm not here to just say whatever the fuck people yell at me in chat to say. So appreciate you coming in, but let's maybe calm down and hang out here. He wants attention. Yeah, seemingly so. And I mean, I get it. I also want attention. I made a whole YouTube channel around it. So who's the one that's truly attention seeking here? It takes a lot less effort to just type in a chat a couple times. Go to deal with something for a couple minutes and chaos unfolds. It happens. Say you caught me monologue. See, the thing is, I also do most of the time just say things out loud anyway as I'm reading them. So, like, if it hadn't been in all caps, I probably would have just said it out loud as I was, like, reading it. Is the other thing. So, like, you could very easily get me to say almost anything. Like, I do, like, read ahead a couple words to make sure I'm not, like, saying something extremely fucked up. But, like, assuming that it's, like, not, you know, you don't drop a slur or anything like that, I'll probably say almost word for word exactly what you said in chat at some point or another. Ectric, what do you expect? Yeah. I am constantly caught. I am syndrome. I got one of those too. What am I doing? Why am I flying around the fucking camp? Did I do a loop? I'm so confused. I did not do a loop. Okay. I've literally just been talking and, like, flying around in circles doing absolutely nothing for the past, like, 10 minutes. I think this will be my last loop, and then we'll end with a duck or two. And then we'll call it a night. On that note about how effective I am at gaming and talking at the same time, I will do a little bit more actual active gaming, and then I'm gonna go switch to a game that I can just monologue to my heart's content, because only something interesting only happens once every 3 minutes, essentially. Related to what we were just talking about, I'm going to a queer dance party of diva jams from the 2000s. Brittany, Kylie, etc. That's themed around poppers. How's that related? You tell me. Well, when I think of poppers, I think of jalapeno poppers. And jalapeno poppers were Jason Mendoza's favorite appetizer in The Good Place. And The Good Place went into a shit ton of philosophy around, like, you know, death and meaning and stuff like that. So it actually is quite related. It makes a lot of sense that you would bring up poppers here. And it's kind of it's kind of queer that you think that it's a difficult train of thought to follow. Yes, exactly. Jalapeno poppers that you put in a VHS players to clean it. Exactly. I love that show. That's one of my favorite TV shows of all time. I think it's one of the most, like, elegantly executed shows that I've ever seen. Like, it's like from start to end, they say the exact story they want to say. It's an incredible story, and then they don't end it too quickly and rush it, the ending. They don't stick around too long, and then it kind of just becomes bloated and and loses the plot. It goes like the perfect length, and then they just end it on a high note. Um, and also in the process created what I believe is like the ideal afterlife, like and like philosophy around like what would be the best situation for like human actualization and stuff like that. Like it's really like almost like a blueprint of like what I hope slash wish the world was like. And like in my mind, it's much more likely that you have it where science gets to a point and health gets to a point where you're able to delay aging enough uh, and cure enough diseases that eventually humans become like effectively immortal. Like yeah, sure, eventually your organs are gonna fail, but like you can just grow a new one and replace it, and it's then it's good as new, and you can just keep on doing that, you know, as long as you want. And like I feel like that's the more likely option than a supernatural afterlife, personally. But like I also don't know that that's necessarily going to happen, or I think it's even necessarily like the most likely option. But I think that it's that is how I would see the world, like in the future, is like eventually medical advances get enough that you can effectively put off dying um, as long as you want. And
So the afterlife of Theseus.
so the afterlife of Theseus. Yes. That's a very good way to put it. Yes. Yes. Everyone is their own ship of Theseus, and we all have brand new wood planks running really old software. But yeah, so that's the kind of how I think about it, is like if we were to be in a situation where that was effectively true, people could live as long as they want. You could choose how long you want to live. And I don't think that anyone would choose to live forever. I think that everyone at a certain point will reach fulfillment, and decide, I don't want to do anything else with my life. I have experienced all I want to experience. I don't feel I need to experience anymore. And I no longer would want to. I don't no longer want to exist. And I think that at that point I think that would be the ideal, is like you get to do everything you want to do, and maybe you're done after 80 years, maybe you're done after 8,000 years. Like I can certainly see a lot of people like deciding, like, especially if it gets to the point where the medical advances make it so that you are constantly in the state of like being healthy enough to be able to like do things. Like I think a lot of the reason that people are more accepting of death in the end is partly because it really starts to suck to be alive. So I think that it would naturally make people more likely to want to live longer if they're able to live longer at in their prime, health wise. But regardless, I think that there will certainly be a lot of people who will want to live extremely long times and experience a lot of stuff. I think that everyone will hit their point where they're like, I'm kind of bored. I'm kind of bored. I can't. I'm just kind of like coasting. I don't have anything that I want to do anymore. I think it's time, and I think that that's the ideal, is you get to choose when you're okay with no longer experiencing things anymore, and then that would be like the best case scenario. I don't think that if it does ever exist, I don't think we're going to be the ones that see it. But that would be the ideal, obviously, or like, at least to me, it's obvious. I prefer Ryan Carna Asada. Random fact: if 9/11 didn't happen, we wouldn't have Twilight or 50 Shades of Grey. What's the butterfly effect there? There's a multiverse where none of the three happen. I guess, yeah, technically. Now that's a trolley problem that I'm curious about. The trolley is currently diverted so that 9/11 will happen, but also Twilight and uh, uh, it's currently diverted so that nothing. It's currently set so that it's not going to hit anything. But on the other track is the concept of 9/11 happening, but also the Twilight series and 50 Shades of Grey series. Do you divert the trolley so that it will hit 9/11 so it doesn't happen, but also hit Twilight and 50 Shades of Grey so they don't happen? Really makes you think. If we could go without Twilight and 60 Shades of Grey. I mean, I don't know. At a certain point, you need some shades of gray. The best timeline. Crash the trolley into the second tower. Jesus. 9/11 inspired Gerard Way to create the band My Chemical Romance, which inspired Stephanie Myers to write Twilight, which inspired creation of 50 Shades of Grey. I see. I see. Um, I think there was the butterfly effect that I heard most recently that I found fascinating was um, Star Trek Voyager's poor, comparatively poor ratings led to the election of Obama. Uh, um, and so the way that happened is the way the butterfly effect there is that Star Trek Voyager, which was I think the fourth series that they made of Star Trek, in the 90s, it was still quite popular, but it was less popular than all of the Star Trek series to that point. Like Next Generation was hugely popular. D Space Nine is by many fans considered the best series to date. The original series obviously spawned the entire franchise. Um, oh, it's the fifth series because there was the animated series in the 70s. So that one was also had its cult following. It ended in 2000. Yes, it did. So here's how it had happened. In like the third or fourth season, ratings were down and compared to the other Star Trek series, and in order to spice things up, they added a new character called Seven of Nine, who was a human that used to be a Borg that was unassimilated essentially, and it was played by Jerry Ryan. Character became very very popular and stayed throughout the rest of the series. And it is played. Yeah, it's Seven of Nine is played by Jerry Ryan. And her husband at the time, um, they ended up getting divorced because of all of the time she was spending working on Star Trek. They it was they eventually grew apart and divorced. And her now ex-husband uh was became a Republican senator in Illinois. And it came out around 2004 that he had like some sort of like sex scandal or something like that. Partially because he was divorced. I think he was having like affairs with people or something like that. I don't know the enough about the guy, but all I know is that he basically had to drop out, and because he ended up dropping out, he essentially um he essentially the Republicans weren't able to put up an effective candidate, which allowed a relatively unknown senator, state representative named Barack Obama to win the election against the Republicans because they didn't have an incumbent anymore. And then he was able to, because he was an up and coming star, he was able to in 2006 do like the response to the State of the Union or something like that. Or no, I think he gave a speech at the 2004 convention, and became a breakout star, and then eventually won in 2008. So if not for Seven of Nine's actress's ex-husband getting into a scandal right before the election, Barack Obama might not have won the Senate seat that then launched him into fame and the presidency.
You'll see the body of your enemy float by.
That is true. They should remake it and call her 6 of 7. Jesus Christ. All of our brains are rotted. Anyway, we're gonna go and swap over to ducks for a few minutes, and then we're gonna call it a night. Thank you for indulging all of my monologuing. I was in rare form with the sheer number of monologues I did, but you made it. And we didn't get any shiny Burmy, but we did get 2 shinies, so that's pretty neat. And let's swap over to the other game. I will just real quick pull it up, and then I will pop it on the screen. Bam. Bam. And you can go up here. You can close you out. And oh, I got some new games because I had some gift cards that were like used up enough that I can't really use them for anything else. But you know, cheap games on Steam I can use them for. So I decided to get a couple of new games. And I got one that I'm pretty excited about trying soon called Click to Continue. And it seems like a mix between like almost like a cookie clicker and like a node buster type of thing, but it's like 3D and like an escape room type of thing. It looks really fun, and it also looks like it's not a super long game, so I'm excited to try it. Responsible monologuing can prevent forest fires. Only you can talk long enough to prevent wildfires. It's a small part of the chain of events, because 50 Shades of Grey also led to the downfall of Ellen DeGeneres. Oh, because the actress who played her was the one that was like, no, I did invite you. And then they realized how much of an asshole Ellen was. That is the butterfly effect there. I'm pretty sure I knew that one. All right, so we're gonna go Plastic Duck Simulator. Exactly. Guess 50 Shades of Grey did do something. I mean, yeah. I always knew that Dory had some skeletons in her closet. But yeah, I'm excited to play some of those new games. Here I can actually list the games that I just got. I got a game called Chillquarium, which looks like it's like a collectathon aquarium game. So that one could be another Plastic Duck-esque game. I don't know how passive it is. It might be more active, in which case it might be more of a budgies game, but that one looks interesting. I got Build Simulator, which I think is just you build a house, which seems quite fun, and like contemplative and calming. So maybe that could be the new like librarian game. I got Undertale because it was extremely on sale. I'm not planning on playing that anytime soon, but I have it now, so I can play it in the future. I got a game called Lux Anima, which is another incremental skill builder. I got The Greenening, which is another incremental skill builder. I got Moonstone Island, which looks like it's a Stardew-esque type of game. And then I got an old Hitman game that was on sale for 89 cents. So maybe I'll try that, because I've never played Hitman before.
I thought we were already playing Billiard Simulator. Quacker, quacker.
I thought we were already playing Build Simulator. Ah, nice. Alright, so we do this. We mute the game audio. And then I will actually just close out of the software. Just put the game to sleep. And then turn off the TV so I can hear the game better. Alright, resume. Cracking the ice. Alright. We also know that's to one of those Muppets movies that Kermit the Frog is responsible for 9/11, so really it's all thanks to him, Ellen Fell. I see. I mean, Kermit is the GOAT, so... Oh, thanks. Not that. I see. Moonstone Island is like if Stardew and Pokemon had a baby, which means you're going to vlog 1,000 hours in a week. Oh, God, yeah. That's another one then, I guess. You've played it before? Or you've at least seen it? Ladies TTS didn't go through for some reason? It's because you didn't wait long enough on the cooldown. It's like a 2 to 3 minute cooldown on each voice. Haven't played it, but I've seen it. Okay, cool. I will say I was very tempted to do Stardew, and I didn't because I felt bad for all of the Pokemon fans. But I'm still somewhat obsessed with that one as well. Less so just because it's been more of a... Oh, we got a new guy. Oh, he's like knit. He's like a little guy in a knit sweater, but he's also knit himself.
Is it the Quack Brigade?
Yeah, I guess it's the Quack Brigade. Let's see. So, what do we think? What kind of name is good for like a kind of like a very preppy, like cozy guy? I want a thing to happen in this pool that hasn't happened for a long time. The Ents to go to war. I'm almost undoubtedly talked about this before, but my main experience with the Ents that I think of every time I think of the Ents in Lord of the Rings is when I was listening to the audiobook, and it gets to the part where the Ents start singing about the Entwives, and in the movies I don't think they even sing about them. They just kind of talk about them a little bit and then move on. But in the books, they go on, they like show like how long-winded the Ents are by like going on for pages. And in the audiobook, it is not abridged. So you are just sitting there listening to the Ents sing about their wives for like minutes and minutes. And like, I just remember I was driving home from school. This was in grad school. I was riding on the train and then driving home from school in the city, and I just remember I was listening to it and I was like, wow, this is taking a while. And like it was like 3 or 4 verses. It was like a line in, like you get a couple lines in and it would be like, and then the Ents Endwives would say, and then they would sing for like, you know, a good like 45 seconds to a minute, and then they would go, and then the Ents would reply, and then they'd, you know, do another couple verses. And I just remember after the 5th or 6th, and then the Ents would say, I was just sitting there in my car going, like laughing my ass off, going, I cannot believe this is still going on. This is taking forever. Waddle Point? Oh, that's pretty good. How about Bow Mallard? Canuck? That's kind of fun. Wait, how did that get set on fire? Why did that get set on fire? Oh, Webenezer set it on fire. Let's go. Well done, Webenezer. Crochet just isn't working. Yeah, I know. What does the point have anything to do with knitted duck? Well, I think the goal there is to give like a really like ritzy name, like, you know, some sort of like Waddle Point vaguely sounds like, you know, what a rich preppy kid would be named. Your puninator. How to build an atomic bomb in your garden? That does sound very funny. I did see a game as I was like searching through for games to buy, because I wanted one that was like, you know, less than $1, because I had just enough on the. I was trying to get the cards as close to zero as possible, because when they get super low, you can't use like multiple cards to pay for one thing anywhere, unless you go like in person to a store, and even then, a lot of places are probably going to give you a hard time about it. But basically, I was trying to get it as low as possible, so I was trying to find a cheap game, and I saw a game called Mommy Squirt, and I was like, I think I know exactly what this is, and I will never be able to play it, and I don't ever want any sort of documentation that I spent money on a game called Mommy Squirt, but I am deeply curious about just how incredibly weird and uncomfortable it is to play that game. Oh, March is back. It's 10:50. Okay, not too bad. Where's this game? I need it. It's on Steam. I think it's for like a couple bucks at most. It was under $5. I know for a fact, because that was the filter I was using. I think I want to go. Let's go, maybe Canuck. I like Canuck. I'm gonna use a C though, because he looks like he's from Vancouver, so we'll go with Canuck. All right. So we need to go here. Collection. There it is. How about that? Canuck. Fine addition to my collection. It's actually spelled with both. Yeah, I know. I went with the K because, you know, knitted. Give it an extra punny aspect to it. Wearing an old-timey swimming costume. That's hard to work into the name. Yeah. Didn't even notice I missed a C. Oh, yeah. I figured it was probably a typo, but I was just going to say that if you were intentionally... that was some sort of, like, punny way of adding something. I didn't get it, and I wasn't going to use it. Alright, so what are some of the other... achievements that we need? There's probably one to melt the ice in there and make it an actual pool. Obviously there's one to knock that guy into the water and then theoretically end up melting him. Oh wait, that's how he'll melt, because the fire's on now. So if he gets knocked into the water, it'll melt him because it's warm water now. Thank you, Webenezer. He incorporated my name and the duck name. There you go. Can you zoom in on it again? Sure. If I can find it. Where is it? It's over in this direction. Right there it is. Not a fine edition. All the art is AI. Yeah, I didn't look at it whatsoever. I just saw the name and went, not buying that, but what an insane fucking name. So I was not at all endorsing the game one way or another. I just, you know, the name caught my attention for just how absurd it was. The Coraline eyes. Yeah, a little bit. I heard the name was insanely intrigued. I mean, yeah, I also was intrigued. Hence, I brought it up, but I had no interest in actually doing any research to find out. Just especially because my wife was on her way home, and I don't know that I could ever justify her walking in to say hello and seeing me looking at a game called Mommy Squirt. No matter how much I didn't intend to buy it, I don't think I'd ever live it down. So appreciate the zoom and just don't remember this fuck at all. Honestly, I feel like fuck works pretty well. The thwing. Where's that stupid woodpecker? Knock him into the water. I think we'll do one more duck after this one. And then call it a night. It's in a bundle with 2 other games called Ass Press F and Kinky Lizard. See, those are less fun names. They are equally ridiculous, but they're not equally, like, intriguing or like, horrifying. They're just, like, generic, horny names. Tony's Lungs is back. Can Webenezer set him on fire? I bet he probably can. Oh no, he's gonna get knocked into the... Oh no, he missed. Alright, let's see if we can't get Tony's Lungs set on fire here. Because then if he gets set on fire and then goes down there, I wonder if he'll be able to melt the ice. A game called Mommy Milker's Miko. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. I think if I recall, I think I recall that if your pool is warm for long enough, that can drop the ice too, in addition to the woodpecker. Oh, well, there's a woodpecker right now. You got this. You got this. Knock him down. Knock him down. Damn. The small pool doesn't melt? Oh, darn. Gotta play more games that'll toughen you up, like Chivalry. The Communist Manifesto. Dami Mami Kami Adventure. See, now that's a game I can get behind. You can't beat that. You can't beat that, nor should you. You can beat it to that, but you can't beat that. I really wanted it to melt because I wanted to see the frickin' mammoth duck and get to name that. That's frozen in there. That'd be so cool if there was just an enormous mammoth duck floating around. It's that. Yes. Me and all my comrades. seizing the means of sperm production. Description is just the Communist Manifesto is a kinetic novel retelling of the classic communist work, The Communist Manifesto by Karl Marx, except Karl is now a busty babe. Sign me up, baby. I was already turned on by Karl Marx. All my comrades. Like comrades, but cum. Yeah, there you go, Crunchy. I think that Pseudo was probably just making a joke, but just in case you weren't. Hey, don't steal Webenezer. He's the goat right now. How to summon a Dami Mommy sleep paralysis deep. Alright, let's see if we can get one more new duck to name tonight. Then I'm going to bed. Or speedrunning budgies. Either or. Oh, the thwing looks really cool in at night. Almost got that same glow in the dark quality as glow in the duck. I'm dying laughing at these titles. If it weren't like, okay, so if all of these games probably weren't like made almost strictly using AI and they didn't all cost money and it wouldn't get me instantly demonetized, I would totally do like a stream where I just played a bunch of all of these like horny games just to like see how ridiculous they are. Baldur's Gate 3, the unofficial parody game. Incredible. I mean, honestly, that's just Baldur's Gate 3, with the censorship turned off. I mean, speaking of summoning a Dami Mommy sleep paralysis demon, have you seen Karlach? Oh, we got a new one? New one? New one! Oh my goodness. It's got 2 different colored koi fish on it. I mean, I feel like we gotta name it like UA, right? What about Grand Dami, Grand Mommy, Chihira? I mean, yeah, I suppose so as well. Dami Mommy sleep paralysis demon is entirely AI. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, all of these games are probably like a vast majority of them are probably all AI at this point, and like they just spit out 30 of them with like vaguely themed around different kinks. And then, you know, they all are, you know, charge $5 for them, and they make a shit ton of money on, you know, horny teenagers. Tui and La. I see. That's what I said. UA. The stupid Northern Water Tribe bitch. That's the one. Or I could go with That's Rough, Buddy. That's Rough, Ducky. Win Wang is good, though. Yeah, Winwang. Winwang. Yeah, I think we'll go with that. Yeah, I like it. I wanted to get the reference into Avatar, but that is quite good. All right. So with that, we are going to call it an end to the stream. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you had a fun time. If you did, and you've not yet liked the stream and subscribed to the channel, consider doing so you can catch up to one of these as they come out. I am traveling this weekend, so I will be back on Monday. I haven't decided which games I'm going to be playing in what order yet, but you'll probably see some more Budgies. You'll probably see some more Librarian. You'll probably see some Stardew. You'll probably see a Pokemon game. That's generally what I'm probably going to be doing next week. And then on Sunday, if I stream, it'll probably be Grounded in honor of Ellie's birthday. Doesn't ask if we are rating someone tonight, and you never answered. Oh, I wasn't planning on it today. I just felt like ending off, but we can if you have someone in mind. Tui and La is literally yin and yang. Yeah, I know. It's not AI though, so I gotta give it props. My Opie mommy makes me want to spill all my company secrets. That's actually pretty funny. Monday is my birthday. Not this upcoming Monday. I think it's a week from Sunday. Maybe next time then? I mean, if you have someone in mind, we can, but otherwise I'm probably just gonna call it. Actually, you know what? Screw it. We're waiting for the next duck, and then we're doing it. I'll set up a whatchamacallit, a raid while we wait. Alright, let's see. Who are we raiding? August of the 2nd. Neat, I see. The upcoming Monday is my birthday. Ah, well, I will probably be streaming that day, so I'll say happy birthday then, but happy almost birthday. I was looking in the mirror before stream, and I was like, my hair's getting long. I need a haircut, and I was like brushing my hair behind my ear, and I was like, oh, I see a couple of gray hairs there. My wife always points them out whenever she sees them, and I'm like, honestly, I'm genuinely okay with going a little gray. I think that my goal is to look distinguished. That's my goal. I don't like. I want to work towards looking distinguished with like gray at the temples. I'm not like hoping for it to go gray any quicker than I am, but I also like not gonna like dye it or anything like that. The 27th, I see. I have mousy gray blonde hair, so I'll never know I'm graying. Also bald. Oh, there you go. I have hair, and it is dark enough that you can tell the difference. So, let's see. Let's do Z-Logic. Honestly, I haven't rated in like a few streams, so probably good that we're doing that. And we'll make it a redirect. Okay. Going over here, edit, customization, redirect. Bam. Save. Oh, and we got a new duck. Let's go. We'll check it out in a second. Join the balds. I definitely have like some balding on the top of my head. It's not enough to like be all that visible unless you're like directly looking at the top of my head. But let me look at the new duck. Where are you? There you are. Oh. Okay, so you know the song Silhouettes? Who's that originally by? Is it the Commodores? Oh, raid target's ending? Alright. No raid then. Screw it. Alright, what are we naming this? Stream ended? Okay. Vignette. That's pretty good. Hold on, let me look it up. Now I want to know. Silhouette song. It is by The Rays. I see. The Rays, huh? Oh, I know what we can do. Here. How about this? Where are you? Silhouette. There we go. Silhouette. Do AM. Guess we'll wait for next time. Yeah, we'll do it another time. But yeah, thank you so much for joining. We are going to end it off without rating. Blue his house and blue little wing though. With the blue little window. I say. Duck in the big blue house. But yeah, I think I'm gonna stick with Silhouette. I like that one. But yeah, let's end it off there before I get another duck. We'll save. And we're gonna end off the stream. So again, thank you so much for joining. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your night. And until the next night, the next stream on Monday, I'll see you around.